Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. In today's video, we are going to have a complete guide to fuel pump failure, symptoms, causes, diagnosis, and fixes. The fuel pump is an essential component of a vehicle's fuel system, responsible for delivering the right amount of fuel to the engine at the correct pressure. If the fuel pump begins to fail, it can cause serious performance issues, potentially leading to a complete breakdown. This guide covers everything you need to know about fuel pump failure, including detailed symptoms, causes, diagnostic tests, repair options, and prevention tips. A faulty fuel pump can cause a range of symptoms that may worsen over time. Here's what to watch for. Engine sputtering at high speeds. The fuel pump must maintain consistent fuel delivery at high speeds. If the pump fails to do so, the engine may sputter, jerk, or lose power momentarily. This is usually one of the first signs of fuel pump trouble. Test. Drive at a steady speed, around 50 to 70 miles per hour, and check for hesitation or power loss. Difficulty starting the car. A weak fuel pump may struggle to pressurize the fuel system, making the car difficult to start. You may experience long cranking times before the engine starts. In severe cases, the car won't start at all. Test. Turn the key to the on position without starting the engine. Listen for the whirring noise of the fuel pump priming. If there's no noise, the pump may be faulty. Engine stalling. The engine may randomly stall while idling, driving, or accelerating. This happens because the fuel pump is intermittently cutting fuel supply. Stalling at highway speeds is dangerous and should be addressed immediately. Test. If the car stalls, try restarting it. If it starts after sitting for a few minutes, the fuel pump may be overheating and failing. Loss of power under load. If the car struggles to accelerate, loses power going uphill, or hesitates when towing, it's a sign that the fuel pump can't deliver enough fuel. This can be progressive, getting worse over time. Test. Try full throttle acceleration from a stop. If the engine hesitates or bogs down, fuel delivery may be insufficient. Whining noise from the fuel tank. A high-pitched whining or buzzing from the fuel tank is a common sign of a worn-out or clogged fuel pump. Normally the pump makes a soft hum, but if it becomes noticeably loud, it may be struggling. Test. Stand near the fuel tank while the engine is running and listen for an unusual sound. Surging or jerky acceleration. A bad fuel pump may cause random acceleration surges or jerky movements while driving. This happens due to inconsistent fuel delivery. Test drive at a constant speed and observe whether the car jerks forward unexpectedly without pressing the gas pedal. Decreased fuel efficiency. A malfunctioning fuel pump can either send too much fuel, causing waste, or not enough, making the engine work harder. This leads to a noticeable drop in miles per gallon. Test track fuel consumption over multiple refills and look for a sudden drop in efficiency. Check engine light. A weak fuel pump may trigger the check engine light if it causes abnormal fuel pressure. Common OBD2 trouble codes related to the fuel pump include P0087, fuel rail system pressure too low, P0190, fuel rail pressure sensor circuit malfunction, P0230, fuel pump primary circuit malfunction. Test. Use an OBD2 scanner to check for fuel system error codes. Overheating engine. If the fuel pump can't deliver enough fuel, the engine may run lean, which means too much air and not enough fuel. A lean air-fuel mixture causes higher engine temperatures, leading to overheating and potential engine damage. Test. Monitor the temperature gauge while driving. If the engine overheats frequently, inspect the fuel system. No start condition. If the fuel pump completely fails, the engine will crank but won't start because no fuel reaches the combustion chamber. This mimics a dead battery, but unlike a dead battery, the starter will still crank the engine. Test. Spray starting fluid into the throttle body and crank the engine. If it starts for a few seconds, the issue is fuel-related, likely the fuel pump. Common causes of fuel pump failure: running on low fuel too often. The fuel pump relies on fuel for cooling and lubrication. Running on low fuel frequently causes the pump to overheat and wear out faster. Contaminated fuel. Bad fuel can clog the fuel pump and cause premature failure. Always use high-quality fuel and avoid gas stations with poor reputations. Clogged fuel filter. A dirty fuel filter forces the pump to work harder, increasing wear. Replace the fuel filter every 30,000 to 50,000 miles. Faulty fuel pump relay or wiring. Electrical failures in the fuel pump circuit can mimic fuel pump failure. Always check the relay, fuse, and wiring before replacing the pump. How to diagnose a bad fuel pump. Step 1. Listen for the fuel pump priming sound. Turn the ignition to on, but don't start the engine. If you don't hear a whirring sound from the fuel tank, the pump may not be working. Step 2. Check fuel pressure with a gauge. Connect a fuel pressure gauge to the fuel rail. Compare the reading to the manufacturer's specifications. Step 3. Perform a fuel volume test. Measure how much fuel the pump delivers in 30 seconds. If flow is low, the pump is weak. Step 4. Check the fuel pump relay and fuse. Locate the fuel pump fuse and relay in the fuse box. Swap the relay with a similar one to test functionality. Fuel pump replacement cost: vehicle type, economy car, parts cost, $50 to $200, labor cost, $150 to $400, total cost, $250 to $600, vehicle type, mid-size sedan, parts cost, $100 to $300, labor cost, $200 to $500, total cost, $300 to $800, vehicle type, SUV or truck, parts cost, $200 to $500, labor cost, $300 to $600, total cost, $500 to $1,100. Prevention tips: how to make your fuel pump last longer. Keep your fuel tank above 1/4 full to prevent overheating. Use high-quality fuel to avoid contamination. Replace the fuel filter regularly, every 30,000 to 50,000 miles. Inspect the fuel system for leaks and fix them immediately. Avoid hard acceleration frequently, which strains the pump. Final thoughts. A failing fuel pump can cause major engine issues and should be addressed immediately. By recognizing early warning signs, performing simple diagnostic tests, and maintaining your fuel system properly, you can prevent costly repairs and breakdowns.